What's going on, guys? This is Bobby Platano from the It Doesn't Matter podcast, and we have my co-host over here, Total Strap Facts, and the host of the show that'll be asking us all the questions of this episode today will be the notorious D.O.M. His name is Dom. Boom. So our topic today will be Lex Luger, and Dom, why did you have me have one of those guys as my choices, as it'd be Lex?
Well, I sent like 20 topics and you decided to choose Lex Luger. So I figured, okay, Lex Luger has a birthday coming up June 2nd. So I figured, let's talk about Lex Luger. But I chose the year. I figured we take it back to 1993 when Lex Luger made the jump from WCW to WWF, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to start from his Narcissist days. And he's going to turn into the American male, whatever you want to call him.
All-American.
All-American Lex Luger.
Wow. Yeah. What an introduction.
Look at that body. Look at the arms. Oh.
John Laurinaitis. Oh, don't tell on me. Don't tell on me, John. Don't tell on me.
Oh, shout out to JR, man. I just saw on the newsletters or whatever it was on the internet that he did have successful surgery for his colon cancer. He's home, he's recovering, and I'm glad that you're doing well, brother, because you really are the voice of our generation. So good luck with that, man, and speedy recovery.
By God. See you soon.
Yes.
Yes. All right, before we get into Lex Luger, it's been a minute. Poppy Platano has his pro wrestling crate. So let's see what's in the crates.
What do we have? What do we see? Thank you, Pro Wrestling Crate, for me. Uh-oh.
So what's the theme this week? Or this bi-weekly, monthly, whatever?
This bi-monthly theme is Tag Teams Part 7.
You got the Allied Powers.
Holy crap. This is a lot of stuff.
The Beverly Brothers.
Oh, no. Oh. Well, we'll start off right now with a couple micro brawlers. We got Saggy 2 Dope and Violent J, the Insane Clown Posse.
Oh my goodness.
Next. Trash.
Pro wrestlers.
You're not a juggalo? Oh, all right, never mind.
Nah, I was down with the oddities.
Okay, let's see what this is. I have a Natural Disasters air freshener.
Hall of Famer, Typhoon.
Yep, there you go.
Probably stinks so good.
And I also have
my shirt.
Earthquake. Boom, 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 boom.
My goodness.
I have the Outrunners glasses. Oh, yeah.
That's dope.
Truth Magnum.
What we have for a pin today, we have Los Correros. Okay, man. I like these. Los Correros.
Enamel pin.
Look like the ECW Heatwave logo.
And let's
the Halloween Havoc guy.
What do we have for the tag teams? For
Demolition.
autographs. Oh.
Jacob and Eli Blue.
I have a Dark Order. Johnny
Hungy. I think he's hurt, but
that
not
10?
put him on TV anymore.
No, not 10.
No.
Which one was that? What was his character name?
I got Alex.
Is he still there?
Yep.
That was
I think
Silver.
John Silver, Alex Reynolds, and John Silver.
Dr. Tom, the guy that helped train The Rock.
We're gonna talk about him later on tonight, but man, you got some sucky ass autographs, bro.
Shut up. All right.
Oh Lord, tag team.
Let's talk about the t-shirts.
If you had an autograph of Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey, I would take that off your hands.
Okay.
Bobby Fulton.
I'll let you know. Let's get the whole effing show and let's rest in peace to Sabu.
Back up.
My bad, man.
Is that Sabu or
Sabu
RVD?
and RVD.
All right.
Wow.
I told you were going to get something Sabu related. I knew it was going to happen.
You did.
They didn't know he was going to die.
That's true.
Maybe they did. What do they know in Chicago?
And we got a Hardy Boys since 1992.
Is it purple?
Yeah, it's purple.
All right.
And that is my Pro Wrestling Crate of Well, my bi-monthly pro wrestling crate. See, I told you, start off early.
That crate sucks. I've been disappointed. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. This one,
that one was weak.
But what is the feature for the next one?
Wait, does that mean everyone got the exact same things you did?
If we got this exact crate, yes.
Wow.
So the next crate will feature
Tag Teams
John's
version
favorite.
8.
Cactus Jack and that egg-sucking dog, Terry Funk.
They were a tag team too.
Yeah.
I got a 30th anniversary T-shirt coming in. Paul Walter Halter. Oh, Indy.
That's Stingray. That's Stingray
Okay.
from Cobra Kai.
Indy Hartwell will be in this next one.
She gonna be there? Let me know. I'll be there when the mail pulls up.
Women
Yes.
Vince McMahon has not touched.
Thank God. The Young Bucks, Koshita Okata, and one more maybe. So that will be in 2 months.
Damn.
It'll basically be an AEW crate.
2 months. That'll put us in July. AEW crate. Yeah, basically.
Good.
You get the AEW Slam crate.
Maybe I'll do that next time. I don't know. We'll see.
Yes,
All right, let's get into the topic at hand. Let's get to Lex Luger. Let's get to that narcissist.
The pose of WrestleMania.
Yes. All right. Guys, let's take it back to the Royal Rumble 1993. We see Lex Luger make his debut. Bobby the Brain Heenan call him Narcissist. But then they changed his name to the Narcissist, and basically Bobby Heenan. He was pissed off how things played out with him and Mr. Perfect. So he brought in Narcissus to be his new Heenan guy. And then when he came out at the Royal Rumble, the Narcissus kept showing off his body in front of the mirrors. And you can tell at this time, this was a Vince McMahon guy.
Yeah. This is basically Vince McMahon as soon as he wakes up in the morning, like, look at this. Look at this body. Oh, I get so hot, so wet. Woo! And get some oil. And what are you gonna do? Well, I'm a narcissist.
Janelle, get my oil.
Look at my arm.
All right, boss.
Now this was Bobby Heenan doing a great job trying to hype up Lex Luger here as Narcissus, but just sometimes someone's doing a promo or something, you don't really believe that they believe what they're saying, and I really didn't believe Bobby Heenan being all enamored with Lex Luger here, so it was just very, very forced. I mean, like I say, he did a good job, did a good delivery, but I just didn't really believe that Bobby Heenan thought Luger was all that. But they definitely tried. And much like the sum of Lex Luger's WWF career, they tried really hard.
Would it be more believable with somebody like Sensational Sherry?
Oh, as his valet?
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I mean, it would make sense just because she would have Sean in her corner later. Was it around this time or a little bit down the road?
Same time.
Man, you have the boy toy, and then you got the narcissist. Maybe that would have worked because you could have been basically looking at like an immature kid and then the mature version of the kid. It could have worked, maybe. It would have been different.
If you try to think of someone from that era, I'm not really sure, but immediately comes to mind. I really like Don Callis in that spot. I just feel like I can hear it out of his voice better than Bobby Heenan's. I mean, Bobby Heenan, he's obviously a tremendous speaker and announcer, but his lisp was getting the best of him that night. He had a little cotton mouth, if you ask me. But anyway, a great attempt at a debut for Lex Luger here at the Royal Rumble.
Yes. Yeah, well, not gonna lie, Luger looked phenomenal, even with the bad haircut. He showed off the whole body, and the ladies, they were impressed. I'm not sure if these people in the crowd, where was it, 93? Auburn, Michigan, something like that, for the Rumble?
I believe so. Let me look.
Well, I'm not sure if these people are not familiar with Lex Luger, because Lex Luger at this time, he was the total package in WCW. He was a former Four Horsemen member, and, he had a track record. He was groomed from Arn Anderson and Ric Flair, so that tells you he knows his shit.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh, it's gonna be that show.
Oh, no.
It's gonna be that
No,
show.
Not again.
All right.
Oh.
Well, like I said, Mr. Perfect, he turned on Bobby, so Luger's that next guy up. So WrestleMania IX, Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas. We have Lex Luger taking on Mr. Perfect at WrestleMania IX. And Lex Luger looking like a Greek god. He comes out with the beautiful showgirls, whatever you want to call them, holding the mirrors, and he's just flexing, looking at his pecs and playing with his thin hair at the time. And it's funny now we've seen this. We've seen the clip numerous times. Vince doing the same shit with that damn baseball jersey on, flexing, and he's, oh, this is how you gotta do. Flip your hair like this, do it like that.
This was basically Vince's like wet dream. This is him like in the ring, just getting out the gym. Look at me. This is who I am. I am a narcissist. Now I'm starting to say it. God damn it. I am a narcissist. I have the body that everybody wants, but nobody can get. And it was tailor made, but we'll talk more about what the ending result for this.
All right. Well, WrestleMania IX. Before WrestleMania IX, Luger really got into a car accident, motorcycle accident, whatever it was. So they played his accident into the storyline, and Luger had like this bionic forearm, and he was knocking mother lovers' heads off. And me personally, this match was nothing special to me. For it being a Mr. Perfect match, this match wasn't perfect whatsoever. It was just a generic match, and I thought it could have been a lot better. And long story short, Lex Luger wins with a backslide, and Mr. Perfect's feet was on the ropes the whole time. The referee, he was on point the whole damn match, except for that right there. He didn't see Perfect's feet on the ropes to stop the count. And then after the match, Luger laid his ass out with that damn forearm. Strap, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, did you guys check out that WrestleMania IX Peacock documentary?
Yes, I did.
I didn't get a chance to do that. I should.
It was really good. I mean, a lot of it, you've probably seen, they had that true story of WrestleMania DVD from many years back with Vince on the cover, and you've seen bits and pieces, but this documentary on Peacock, it really showed a ton of footage, stuff I've never seen before, obviously, and it was very fun to watch, even seeing, a very young Nick Khan as a ticket taker, the original ticket taker.
They also showed Shawn Michaels' crotch. They zoomed in too. I don't know why, but they zoomed in. He's like, why would they show that?
Come on, man.
If the story is true that Luger is there, he's going to make his WrestleMania debut in the ring, and he's like, oh, I'm with Kurt Hennig. We're going to have a great match. He's going to carry me basically because Lex Luger is not known as a ring general, but Mr. Perfect was, and whether it was a rib or not, or where Hennig, who knows what happened to him? Did he really forget the entire layout of the match? I don't know. It's very hard to believe any of those kind of stories, but
I don't believe it.
The end result is the match was terrible and was nothing of note. So it's very sad to see, a legend like Mr. Perfect with such a reputation and not being able to live up to it at WrestleMania IX. But yeah, just a very forgetful WrestleMania match, overshadowed by other things at WrestleMania IX for sure.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you on that, but also I gotta disagree in a way because from what I've heard, stories of Perfect and Owen would just, if they really wanted to dog out a match, they could just do it. They just make the match look like crap and just, shit all over just because they didn't have their way or just didn't want to put a certain person over the way they felt like they could have. I mean, it should have highlighted both of these guys a little bit more, especially at Mania, but I think he probably saw the writing on the wall like, well, this is my time. I'm not going to really put this guy over. I never really liked him. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know what the backstage politics were with these guys. And
I think on the main stage like Mania, they would not play those. A house show for sure.
I agree. Yeah, house shows for sure. Not WrestleMania. You're not doing that. Not on Vince's watch.
Yeah. But you said, like I said, Perfect was a known ribber. Him and Owen were notorious for it. So he could have just said, oh, I forgot, knowing damn well he was just acting a fool, try to get his way.
Well, that's why Luger knocked his ass out.
Probably.
with that forearm after the match. Then after the match, Perfect is pissed off. He gets up and he walking in the back, and we see Luger. We've never seen them, somebody walk backstage for it. His first time seeing the gorilla position and whatnot. And we see Luger talking to Shawn Michaels, and then he attacks Lex Luger. Mr. Perfect, that is. Attacks Lex Luger, and Shawn beats him up. Shawn beats up Perfect, hit him with a trash can, and it's not a perfect day for Mr. Perfect.
I think it was a good segue to get him into a different feud with Shawn Michaels, and I think they would wrestle at SummerSlam that year.
Yeah, I think that for Sherry, right? Or was it?
I hope not.
I know he fought for Sherry with somebody.
I don't know, but we know the end results for WrestleMania IX. Hogan wins the title.
How?
You got to watch the documentary. Ticket sales was shit, so they wanted Hulk Hogan, not Vince. Vince said no, Hogan's done. Hogan's not going to come back. So they wanted Hulk Hogan to come back. Hogan's name went on the card. Great, let's go. We selling tickets. So how's he going to get a title? What do you mean? How's he going to get a title? He's not in the title match. Figure something out. That's what they basically told Vince McMahon. So they figured it out. You got that wonky finish. Hogan's the champ. Next, we go to King of the Ring, 1993. Get the Flash. Hogan's gone after this, and we don't see Lex Luger for a minute. After WrestleMania 9, we don't really see him after.
Well, again, with trying to follow pro wrestling, at the time, it's like, what is there to watch? I mean, there's, again, WWF Superstars, which I had to put in the search box. I couldn't find it on my own. I hide that stuff. And that tries to fill in the gaps. It's like, what happens between WrestleMania and SummerSlam? It's like 4 months in wrestling history. It's like, what happened? No one knows, unless you're finding the gap somewhere.
Yeah. So basically, at this time, 4 pay-per-views. You got your Superstar show every Saturday, whatever time it came on, and
Raw's not even on yet.
No, not yet. It comes out later on this year.
No, Raw was already in progress. So Raw would be something to watch, I guess. But I believe the Narcissist.
We're all going tonight.
Yeah, well, we're transitioning from calling him the wrong name to the right name to whatever. Yeah. So Narcissist, the Narcissist. They just it wasn't working. It probably wasn't working as well as they thought, and they dumped it in favor of this brand new idea because, all this happens, right? As Dom was leading to it, Hogan was the WWF champion, goes to King of the Ring, loses it to Yokozuna, and out with the old, in with the new, blonde-haired muscle man. It's like, Hogan's out. He ain't coming back because he already talked trash about the WWF title in Japan. This is a toy. So, he didn't. Well, he already had the Bret Hart run, but here comes his new blonde babyface muscular superstar, and he's like, I can kind of like with JBL. I would assume it's like, where did that come from? Why is JBL all of a sudden a main eventer? It just came out of nowhere because Vince McMahon was like, I can make anybody. So he takes it as a challenge, and he's like, I'm gonna make Lex Luger in one night, in one day on the 4th of July at the USS Intrepid in New York City. And we all know that story. We all know that deal. He comes out in a freaking helicopter and body slams Yokozuna when everyone could not do it. Steiner Brothers, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Macho Man couldn't do it, but Lex Luger came to save the day.
I'm your hero.
Man, the Lex Express, they put that on Peacock. It's 3 hours long. I watched that whole thing because I'm such a Luger mark.
Loser.
Yeah. I'm one of the biggest legend stars in this business. I love saying that. But anyway, Don, what else we got going on?
Yeah, so Hogan's gone, and we get a repackaged Lex Luger, and he's all American. And yes, on July 4th, he slammed Yokozuna on the USS Intrepid, and they pushing this man hard. He's getting that Roman Reigns treatment. They pushing this man hard. He get the Lex Express tour, and at this time, Luger was a dick. He didn't even tell you he was a dick at this time. Backstage, like, he didn't care for kids and kissing babies and fat chicks and all that other stuff like that. But that's what Lex Luger was.
How I live my life, pal.
So, SummerSlam 1993. Luger's going for the title against Yokozuna. And the stipulation was if Luger loses, he can't get another title shot. Point blank. Well, long story short, he knocked Yoko's ass out with that damn forearm. Yoko gets counted out. Luger's win. He's celebrating. He's waving the flag. Yes, I did this. All right, fool. You didn't win the damn title.
Yep.
So my question
Are
for
fans
y'all
that
is,
stupid?
Yes.
They just happy at the time. So my question for y'all is, why didn't Vince pull the trigger? Like, you had him. He wasn't Hogan hot, but he was kind of hot at this time. And this would have been big for the USA. So why didn't Vince pull the trigger on Lex Luger winning that damn title?
I mean, maybe possibly because he's seen a little bit of like a little Ultimate Warrior in him, where he wasn't friendly with the kids or the fans. I mean, I don't think Warrior was like that when he first started. When his first run was his only run, actually. But like backstage, you kind of knew what kind of a person he was. Maybe that's probably what it was. Like, all right, am I really gonna send this guy out to media to represent my company, and then I got to go back and like, all right, you sent this guy who's your champion, and he's a real asshole. Doesn't do well with us. Fuck him. But I don't know, bro. It made no sense to me. Like you push, like you said, you're pushing this guy so damn hard, and then you celebrate like he won the belt, but he didn't win anything. All he did was win by countout. That was a big mistake, and that's probably why the fans kind of like, oh, you don't believe in him? Why should we?
I got a comparison. Y'all, I know y'all gonna agree with me. They was pushing Lex Luger.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't selling nothing, but Brett was getting more and more over his work. And then at that time in 2014, they was pushing Batista, winning the Rumble, but Daniel Bryan was over. And you see how that played out.
It's a little different because Batista left and came back. They were, I think the fans of WWE at that time were trying to push for their own guys that they organically found and in their eyes were over, not what Vince and the backstage thought was over. Granted, I mean, everyone always respected Randy Orton. He was always in that main event. But I think they just wanted something different. They got tired of always being told, all right, this is the main guy, John Cena, Randy, and Batista. They're like, no, we're enough of this crap. We want Daniel Bryan. He busted his butt. You screwed him over so many times. I mean, in a way, yeah, I can see it. Just because Hogan won the belt that night at Mania 9 when he really shouldn't have even been in a match for the title. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to business, I kind of agree. If you put one person in and they sell more tickets because of that one name, you might want to push them to the top. Just saying. And I'm one of the biggest Bret Hart fans ever, but business is business. You got to make
organically.
You got to make the dollars, the dineros.
Total Strap Facts. What are your thoughts?
There's the rumors, of course, that Luger got drunk and told people he was winning the title, and I don't know. I really never nailed it down as to why exactly he didn't. I just think it was one of those weird Vince McMahon. Oh, maybe it's too obvious. It's like, man, no shit. He just ran a bus tour. There could be all the rumors or the possibilities all sound legit. Bruce Pritchard, Vince's second or third right hand man, witnessing him on the tours, like. Even in the A&E biography, it's kind of like he ain't it. The way just his demeanor, he ain't it. He ain't what we're looking for. And sometimes that's like it's like dating someone. Yeah, they look really nice in the beginning, and then you take them out, you find out they're a vile person that you don't want to be associated with. Too deep.
No, I know.
But yeah, it's like. Until you put them in that spot, you don't know what they're really like. And it's like, well, yeah, you saw all those clips and, cameras can make anyone look bad. And Luger definitely did look bad while he was on the Lex Express tour. But it's like, so yeah, I never really nail it down. I'm not really sure. Like I said, there's so many, conspiracy theories, but I don't really know why he did. But I mean, I would have had him do it. I would have had him win the title. And, if it didn't work out, then fine. Have him drop it back to Yokozuna, because it was just such a highly built that it should have had a payoff. And the payoff being a count out win and that celebration, and then nothing.
That's so WCW.
I was about to say that WCW booking right there. That's what that shit is, right?
That was
your main
WCW.
event for SummerSlam. WCW booking right there.
Oh man, I'm glad you was thinking that, Dom.
Yeah.
Look, tag team.
Yes. Well, all right. Well, after this,
I don't want your crate, guys.
I don't want this one either. Oh boy.
Well, you see, he's dropping down in the cards, and after this, they put him together with Ludvig Borga. Strap facts. Tell the people who Ludvig Borga is.
He is a white supremacist. If you watch the Dark Side of the Ring, which I wanted to watch because I knew nothing about Ludvig Borga. All I know is that I knew he was there, and he was there for like a short period of time. But the first time I actually watched Borga like in a match, I was like, "Yo, this guy is like he's like Brock Lesnar of 1994, man. What happened? He's just he was physically large and imposing, and kind of resembled him a little bit." Little did we know they had a swastika tattoo on his ankle or something the whole time. He had to hide his leg in the locker room showers more than Kerry Von Erich, the Texas Tornado.
Jesus.
But I think there is a match with Ludvig Borga and Lex Luger, and it might be okay because Luger fighting a giant of sorts. That seems to be his a very easy match and story to tell. A muscular guy versus a guy who's may not be as muscular, but quite as big as he is. So that could be interesting, but it didn't last long. It didn't pan out. It's one of those things that just got lost in between pay-per-views. SummerSlam, the big four, right? SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, and WrestleMania. We know the big ones, but what about the little storylines in between? That's kind of harder to find out.
It's crazy. When you say stuff like that, it reminds me that Lex basically was trying to do the Hogan thing where he's a big, imposing guy, but there was always some bigger or a bigger giant. It's like, how the hell did this formula not work? Was it just like specifically for Hogan that it only worked for him, or it just didn't work for everybody because they didn't have the stature or the charisma that Hogan had?
Maybe it didn't help that his debut was as a heel, and they just, people, whether they address it or not, it's kind of like, wasn't he a bad guy?
Yeah.
It's the feels aren't always correct. His morals are suspect if he was a narcissistic heel at first. But Bret Hart would call him one of the kindest guys in the locker room. He came off a certain way, and we know people like that in real life. Maybe they just they're a real sweetheart, but they just don't get the chance to show it.
Yeah, they only get along with a certain group that they like, but the other group is like, I don't know about this guy.
Yeah, well, we get to Survivor Series 1993, and then the show kicks off. They have an introduction with Lex Luger with his family, his wife, his son, his daughter, and they should talk about their Thanksgiving tradition and what they're thankful for and all that stuff like that. They pushing Lex Luger to the moon right now. So your main event for Survivor Series 1993, you get the Foreign Fanatics taking on the All Americans. The Foreign Fanatics is your WWF champion, Yokozuna, Crush, the Mountie, and was it Ludvig Borga? Was he in that shit? Hold on.
The Booger Man.
That shit was in my notes. Hold on.
Ludvig Booger.
Yoko, Crush, Mountie.
Yep.
Oh yeah, and Borga. Yeah, I wrote Crush twice in my notes.
I'm watching
all right.
right now.
Yeah. And then the All Americans was Luger as your team captain. You got the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott. And then you got The Undertaker.
With the American flag.
I want that jacket.
Good luck finding that.
I want that. If you can find that, I would like that.
Good luck finding that. That's probably in the archives.
They're all in WCW in 1990. Team USA.
Seriously. All right, well, long story short, Lex Luger, he was a sole survivor, hitting Borga with that flying forearm, and that's it. And then after the match, Luger grabs the flag, USA's happy in Auburn, Michigan, and then Santa comes out, and it's snowing. It's snowing in November. It can happen.
Too soon.
Yeah, a little too much.
It could happen. So,
Well,
And the New Year's baby, Big Show.
well, it was probably snowing in his locker room.
Oh, God.
hell yeah.
Another behind the scenes clip to see. WCW wrestlers on drugs.
Let me not.
All right, well, let's get to January, Royal Rumble season, 1994. And the winner of the 1994 Royal Rumble, we had some co-winners, and that is Lex Luger and Bret the Hitman Hart. Their feet touched at the same damn time, so that's how they became co-winners.
Nobody else could have pulled that off. I'm sorry. Nobody but Bret the Hitman Hart. I don't care. I know Roger says freaking Shawn is the greatest, and everyone, nobody in my eyes could have pulled that off but Bret the Hitman Hart. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
That's your opinion. And you know what?
It doesn't.
Everybody
matter.
else, it doesn't matter. All right,
John
so
Batista.
these guys are
that was
co-winners.
freaking amazing that happened with
Cena
Batista and John Cena. That was just like they literally got out the same.
Allegedly, that was an accident. That was not planned. You probably couldn't plan something like that
No.
unless you're Bret Hart.
Same damn time. All right, so
but you see how he did that too, right? You seen how the making of the ending where he wrapped his leg around Lex. He's like, okay, I'm gonna wrap my leg around your leg, and we're gonna just go. John, you do the voice better than me.
I hope you're not reading Junior, the WWF Superstars Christmas book from 1992.
No.
And you know, Sean. Anyway, ho ho ho, ho 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 from the Hitman.
all right, so we got co-winners. So I think the following night or the week after, it might have been a tape Raw. They discuss who is going to fight Yokozuna at WrestleMania. So they flip a coin. They flipped the coin. Luger won. So Luger got the first dibs against Yokozuna. And then Bret, since Luger might have to defend the title twice or, win the title and defend it against you, whatever, and Yoko got to do the same thing, you're going to have a second match as well. So you're going to face your brother eventually. All right, well, the match between Lex Luger and Yokozuna, they had a special guest referee, and that guest referee was Mr. Perfect.
Woo.
And I didn't rewatch this match. I know what happened. I know that Luger got disqualified because he accidentally put his hands on the official. Perfect was pissed off from what happened last year at WrestleMania IX that it cost him the match. That cost Luger the match, and so Bret had his opportunity later on that night to go against Yokozuna after he lost to Owen, and his special guest referee was the Hot Rod, the Hot Scots, Roddy Piper. And
I really did not like that ending for Lex, man. That was straight horse caca. That was
right there.
Horse caca.
That's strike 2 for Lex. They could have pulled the trigger.
Yep.
That's strike 2 right there.
Even if you was gonna drop the belt back to Bret that night, you still could have at least gave him that moment. Like, hey, let's see how the crowd's reacting. Interesting.
Vince could have had a 3-way dance.
That would have been interesting.
Oh man,
imagine that 3-way dance back in 1994.
We never seen a lot of those too. That because ECW was known for it, and that's when they brought it in to WWF.
So, Strap, what are your thoughts on WrestleMania 10? Lex Luger and Yoko and Bret and Yoko and Bret and Owen?
Matches can be accused of not having any storyline or any thought put behind it, but this one, definitely did. You have, Luger and Yoko. That's from the Intrepid. Luger and Bret. That's from the Rumble. Luger and Perfect from the previous year's Mania. There was just so many avenues that your brain could think of while the match is happening.
Yep.
But so it definitely wasn't an afterthought. But as for the booking, it would it not have been nice if Bret and Luger faced off in the main event? I don't think they weren't doing 3-ways yet, so it would just be a 1-on-1. But yeah, I think it would have been better if Bret faced Luger. You would have had a mixed crowd reaction probably, and a heel face dynamic is always better, especially for Brett. But Lex Luger, a lot of ifs, ands, or could be's with his career in the WWF, and this is just another example of it. And we're talking about his WWF career, and it was only about 3 years or so, and it's tough. It's really tough. I'm a big Luger fan, but in his later WCW days, I don't know much about his early WCW days, and I wasn't around for this run as a kid. But looking back on it, it's just like it just wasn't in the cards for this guy. It just really wasn't.
No. And I'm with you on that, John. I would have loved to see what the crowd's reaction would have been with a newly crowned heavyweight champion with the All-American Lex Luger versus Mr. Canada himself, Bret Hart, which everyone loved him too. So where was the crowd going to go with that? And I think Vince kind of saw that as like, ooh, do I really want to put somebody on that heel side? And maybe we could have gotten an anti-Canadian Bret a little earlier than we really had.
No, that's way too soon.
I know, but hey,
way too soon for that one.
But it would have worked. We seen the results of what that man did when he became anti-American. But the results of him losing to Owen, kind of like 2 losses for Bret in one night. That's kind of tough.
Hell, 2 losses at WrestleMania back to back. That'd have been tough.
Yeah, that's hard to recover from that, even as a hitman.
Look at Gunther.
Gunther's a different story. He's the GOAT.
Back to back loss at WrestleMania.
That boy, let him slap you.
He's got a title shot coming up.
Still in the main event scene as far as I'm concerned.
All right. Well, Bret is your champion at WrestleMania 10. So let's fast forward to August time. And everybody remember this storyline.
Yeet.
Yeet.
See? He's a trailblazer.
We have Lex Luger and Tatanka facing off at SummerSlam 1994. And at this time, Tatanka is accusing Lex for selling out the $1 Million Man, giving him money and blah, blah, blah. You sold out. You sold out. Well, these two guys, they had a match at SummerSlam. Hell, they even had a poll. Did Lex Luger sell out? And the poll said, no, he didn't. I think it was like 52% that he did not sell out. The fans knew. The IWC, they knew Lex Luger didn't sell out. While these guys had a match, it was nothing special.
He never sold out because he wasn't champ. I'm just kidding.
Well, the match was nothing special between Lex Luger and Tatanka. And then Tatanka won. I'm not sure how he won, but he won the match. And then Ted DiBiase tried to offer the bag to Lex Luger. And Lex Luger literally kicked the WWF duffel bag. And then Tatanka attacked him from behind. And then he shoved the $1 or $100 bill down his throat. And Tatanka was the one that sold out. Why I seen him in Grasso Tech? Why, Tatanka? Why did you do that? He said, they took my damn statue.
What?
What?
Christopher Columbus took his shit.
And now there's a mobile gas station there.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeet.
Anyways, that's what happened. Tatanka, he's the one that turned. He sold out. He did it. Should have known he turned because he got rid of that damn red hair. That red mohawk. Dyed that shit black.
That heel turn for Tatanka, a terrible move for his career. He went nowhere. He had a lot of momentum as a babyface, man. But
hold on, Strap. But do you know what happened at Survivor or before Survivor Series? You know who defeated Tatanka?
Borga.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
With the most disrespectful pin of all time. He took his index finger and just pinned him.
Are you kidding me?
That's what happened. Tatanka, he got wiped out from that Survivor Series team. He's supposed to be on a Lex Luger team. That's how they got Undertaker.
Wow. Wow. That's worse. I don't know if that's worse than the finger poke of doom.
That's how over they wanted Borga to be by doing that to Tatanka.
That's foul.
I mean, that's not the most random, like, undefeated streak into a what's the opposite of a push? A stay, a job. Okay, like, you know, this seems far fetched, but you know, the Boogeyman when he was on ECW, you know, he was winning every week, you know, and he just won a bunch of squash matches, and out of nowhere he just got jobbed out. He, you know, like he said, he was dominating, pinning guys, winning every week, and all of a sudden he just does a job, and then the next week he gets released. So, and that happens with lots of guys. They just get pushed as a small push, and then something happens, they get fired, and then they're gone. You know, Dakota Kai, she was just you know, the Intercontinental #1 contender or something like that, and boom, gone. I was like, man, I mean, you know what? She was doing very well until they changed her theme music, and I was like, I'm out after that.
Well, Stephanie Vakir just lost her belt, but she will be coming up to the main roster.
Her and Jordan Grace, so it's definitely gonna be a good time.
Who they?
Well, the rumor has it is Stephanie's going on Raw.
Yep.
And Jordan's gonna be on SmackDown. Big Blue. Her and Julia's gonna be on SmackDown.
That makes sense. They need more girl power over there, but I did see some clips of Julia versus Charlotte, and there was some no sell there. Don't know whose fault that was.
Charlotte.
But ouch. No bueno.
Yes. No bueno.
It's always Charlotte's.
All right, guys. So Survivor Series 1994, we have Lex Luger's team Guts and Glory, taking on the $1 Million team. Luger's team featured Mabel, Adam Bomb, and the Smoking Guns. Pew, 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 pew. And then they went against the $1 Million team, which was the captain, Tatanka, King Kong Bundy, Bam Bam Bigelow, Tom Pritchard, and my man, Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey.
Ooh.
It's the best. He's the best.
It was.
He's the best. What was their team name? Tom Pritchard and Jimmy Del Rey? Heavenly Bodies?
Yes.
Sure was.
Heavenly Bodies. Gigolo Jimmy Del Rey.
Oh, man.
Well, long story short, fast forward this damn Survivor Series match. Luger got eliminated by King Kong Bundy.
Bundy. Every time you go to the bank, you're stealing from the man, Bundy.
That's right. King Kong Bundy and Bam Bam, they were your final two. How the captain Tatanka gets eliminated as well.
What a weird match.
That is weird.
Sucks.
What?
All them random teams. So Luger losing this Survivor Series match right here, you know he's dropping down in the card. You already know
the fact that King Kong Bundy was a a main eventer in WrestleMania 2 is incredible. That he's back.
Sleep.
What? Mania? No, this is like
this
10?
upcoming Mania 1995. Who does he fight?
Don't tell me.
That guy sitting right there on the couch. Not
John Cena.
The Undertaker.
Oh, he would fight Undertaker. Oh, shit.
Yes.
I forgot about that.
So Bundy had a resurgence.
For a little bit.
Yeah. He's not married with children.
Eyebrows, but he had
Wrong Bundy.
Love and marriage.
I love
He
that
was
show.
on,
Yes.
wasn't
Yeah, he was he was one of the uncles.
That's his cousin.
Yeah.
Cousin Bundy.
he? No rewatch of that.
I'm all set.
What the hell is it? Modern Family's better.
Especially with Little Giants.
Especially with Sofia Vergara. Oh, sorry. I'm in trouble right now.
America's Got Talent.
Clip. All right, so Luger's going down the card. So let's take it to 1995 in the Royal Rumble. He was in the final four before he got eliminated from the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Ooh.
Any thoughts on the Rumble, John? I know 1995 is your year. You got into wrestling. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, the opposite end. No, I have no notes for Lex Luger in the 1995 Royal Rumble, unfortunately. So. Skip.
All right. Skip. All right. Well, after this, he formed a tag team. He's an allied power with the British Bulldog. USA and the United Kingdom, they are one. And
they fucked me.
Yeah. So this team right here, they were trying to force them to be like the top babyface tag team.
And they had a good remix theme song too.
Yeah, typical AEW fashion, but yeah, it was pretty good.
Hey, old WWE, don't start that crap. I know you're get that chapstick out.
That's what they do.
No, he's saying they're knocking off NXT themes and redoing them into Paragon. Terrible name, Adam Cole.
Jesus,
baby.
All right, well, WrestleMania 11, Lex Luger's final WrestleMania, and he had a tag match with his partner, British Bulldog, and they took on the Blues Brother, Jacob and Eli Blue. Platino, who the hell are the Blues Brothers?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh my God, John!
They are the disciples of Apocalypse,
and
the worst members of the NWO 2000.
Did the DOA?
The Harris twins.
Oh
yes,
I
them racists.
Ron and Don Harris. Lex Luger loves fighting them racists in the WWF. He gets them out of the country, out of the company.
True. That is true.
Was that the opening match though? Was this?
Oof, I'll tell you what, I haven't rewatched WrestleMania 11 in a long time, and I don't plan on it either. That shit was trash.
I don't think it was. I mean, I don't think it was.
That
it does
card
get panned.
Trash.
Come on, man.
Only good thing about that show was Pam Anderson and Jenny McCarthy.
I liked it. I liked it, not for the quality of wrestling, but it felt very magical to me. We're not here to talk about WrestleMania 11 though, but yeah, I mean, the first time seeing the Allied Powers, British Bulldog, and Lex Luger, I'm like, wow, that's awesome. And as a matter of fact, my research for this show involved trying to find matches of Luger in 1995. Like, I kind of already knew, the stuff we already covered. It's kind of like, okay, that's just history that I already know. So what about this run, his final run in the WWF? And so I wasn't able to scour the Monday Night Raws, which are only an hour each, but I was able to search the WWF Superstars shows. And my God, there's a lot of stuff on there. And as an aside, Abel talked about Lex Luger being, Vince McMahon's, wet dream. In a weird manner, Kevin Nash as Diesel was the same thing. He wasn't like Jack like that, but they said, Diesel, like Kevin Nash, he would admit he was this badass bodyguard character. And then once he won the title, he became corporate. He did what Vince wanted him to do. This is what a champion does. You act like this. You shake hands and you sing the Christmas carol.
He started wearing the suit.
You're wearing the suit. You wear the corduroy suit. Yeah. And, on Instagram, there's some clips out there like, this is the most hokiest promo Kevin Nash has ever done. He's known as like a genius in wrestling. He's really not, in a way, though. And it's really bad. I'm like, you're just like, oh, this is out of context. Like, it's not that bad. No.
What'd I say? Who's overrated?
Kevin Nash. Hey, you Ben said that. You said that in season 1 at your house with the cat. The cat was in the background.
Survey says, Johnny, tell him what he's won. Kevin Nash is overrated as of Poppy Platino, but he probably not.
As I'm searching,
he'll probably kick my ass, but it's okay.
As I'm searching the Lex Luger matches, I would stop upon like, oh, let me check out this Diesel promo or this match or whatever, and it was really bad stuff, really really bad. But Luger, he had a handful of matches. The one that sticks out the most to me was him versus King Kong Bundy, which I learned today he jobbed to at the Survivor Series 1994. It was a hokey match. It had a terrible ending. Another match that I came across, I was looking for like, let me see some like kind of like the Ultimate Maniacs, was it? Or Warrior and Macho Man?
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
It's like, okay, I know they did promos. They didn't make it to the Survivor Series to do their tag team match, but did they actually have any tag team matches? And I think there's like one or two that really exist. So the Allied Powers, it's like, I saw one match on Superstars, which I don't know what happened. It was a weird edit. They just cut right into the match, like in the middle of the match. So that was weird. and they were wrestling. I think they were called War Machine or something. It was really odd. And I thought, like I said, I thought they were good, Davey Boy and Luger. And I could kind of see where they're going with it. I think, the Allied Powers, like this is where the push was going to go. It was going to go toward facing Yokozuna and Owen Hart,
Yes.
For the belts. I guess it turned into the Smoking Guns probably. But
hold on, let me I have it in my notes. So the Allied Powers, they had qualifying tag team match. Whoever won that match, they fought Owen and Yoko at In Your House 2. And Bulldog and Lex, they beat Man on a Mission to get that match at In Your House 2. And they lost. Point blank.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
They lost their title shot, their only title shot, and that's what happened.
Jeez. Terrible. More terrible booking. Golly.
Yeah, so Luger was done because after this, basically, instead of they breaking the tag teams, the two guys, Bulldog and Luger, they just started wrestling singles matches, and then Luger finally had a house show match. Him and Shawn Michaels, they defeated Yoko and Owen by disqualification, and that was it. That was Luger's last match in the company. That was the last match in the company. Because he was on a handshake deal. His contract, handshake, whatever, it expired. And then he appeared on the first episode of Nitro.
Wow. I can't say if I was Lex, I would be frustrated because of the way they pushed me. Because you're telling me, oh, you're pushing me to the moon. And then when you get to the end of the road, you cut me off again. And you do it again. All right, you get me to Royal Rumble. You're pushing me into Mania. You're showing me that I'm basically going to be the guy. And what you do again? No, you cut me off at my legs, and then you do it again. And then one final time, you got me with Bulldog, probably one of the best technicians of all time at that time. And what do you do to me again? You give me one title shot. I don't win. And then you make me a singles again. You clearly don't have a plan for me. Or if you did, you don't like what you see. So I got to go. And I'm going to go make money somewhere else.
Low ball Eric Bischoff offer. Yeah, for to Luger's credit, he didn't really care. Like he honestly just didn't, in all the interviews, whether he really genuinely didn't care and it didn't matter to him, or he's forgotten it. Like Shawn Michaels, he'll defer to Bret Hart on everything nowadays because he doesn't remember anything. Yeah. He's like, you're probably right, Bret.
Come on, Sean. You tell me you had Sean. Come on, be honest.
Yeah, so I mean that's what he claims anyway. So Sean claims he doesn't remember most things. So he probably, and to be fair, Bret Hart, even if it's his side of the story, he's.
And I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's not one to fabricate things that much, So Luger, if you talk to him now, I mean nowadays, and it's like, hey, what about you almost won the WWF title, and he would just tell you, sometimes you just doesn't happen. It's on the card. It's no big deal. It's like, Jesus, he doesn't give a shit, and that's okay. Maybe you take it too seriously sometimes, Hitman, but yeah, he's just carefree about it, and he's got other things that really should bug him more nowadays, but yeah, like when I'm watching, I'm searching for those matches. I'm just like, Luger's probably being paid so much money, and he's not being pushed. It's kind of like, I think Vince is ready to dump him, but he wasn't. I think he had another contract ready for him, probably lower than what he was getting, which probably didn't help his cause. And he's like, you know what? I've kind of had my time in the WWF, and the rules and regulations is a bit looser in WCW. My friend Sting's there. Let me find this opportunity and head on over. Yeah. So.
Well, Luger said on plenty documentaries and his autobiography, he said that they didn't know that his contract's coming to an end. He didn't receive anything, so he called Sting. Hey, what's going on the other side? Oh, I'll set you up with Eric Bischoff. And Bischoff didn't want him, so I'm going to give him the worst deal ever. And next thing you know, okay, I'll take it. Really? Yeah. All right. Show up right here. They don't know what you got a contract. They don't know your contract expired. Nope, handshake deal. Okay, show them all in America. Okay,
I got to give
they
that.
just took off.
I know I've said in a previous podcast that he's only had a few good ideas, but this is a good one. This is one you can have, Eric.
Yep.
You're not getting much from me though. Just letting you know.
Yeah, Platinum don't like you, Bischoff. Even though we met you, he don't like you.
I like Eric, but I'm just gonna end it at that.
All right,
turncoat.
Damn right.
I'm gonna sum it up. This is my summary of Lex Luger's run in WWF. His run was a bust. Vince wanted him to be the next Hulk Hogan, but you know what? You can't teach that. One thing Luger lacked at that time was charisma. Hogan had charisma. Hogan was selling out arenas. Wasn't the best wrestler. Luger was a better wrestler than Hogan, but
whoa, hold up. Excuse me. I can't agree with you on that one. Sorry.
No, I think he's a better wrestler than Hogan.
Luger was a better wrestler than Hogan.
No, he was.
Luger was a better wrestler than Hogan.
He was, but
stick to your guns, Abel.
Hogan stole the show all the time.
Hogan stole the show. Hogan was robbing everybody. He's robbing Hooters right now. Look at him.
He better not. Leave Hooters alone. Leave my house alone.
Hogan was best for business in the 80s and early 90s in the WWF, point blank.
And not even just WWF, just wrestling in general.
Yes. And there's nobody filling them shoes whatsoever.
It didn't matter who you put in, what character you had. He really was a once-in-a-lifetime kind of character.
Yes. You can hate the man for who he is, but what he did for the business...
GOAT. The GOAT.
Exactly.
You can put Bruno ahead of him. I'm sorry. You're not. Bruno did not do anything that Hogan did. Could he have? Maybe. But time has told us he didn't do it. So the GOAT is Hulk Hogan. Tui! And I break his back and humble him later.
Is he on your Mount Rushmore, Abel? Because that should change every week.
Hogan? He hasn't left. As much as I just don't like him, like, from his bullshit.
Nah, we're not talking about his personal shit. We're talking about him as a professional wrestler, entertainer.
Hands down, GOAT. You cannot have a Mount Rushmore without him. Or I just say invalid, and that's my opinion. It doesn't have to be gospel. Just in my opinion, it's invalid if Hogan's not in it, regardless of how I feel.
So, total strap facts. What are your thoughts on Lex Luger's run in the WWF from 1993 to 1995?
It sucked. It's terrible. I mean, there's nothing good about it. I mean, nothing. We talked about all, this episode is all about that. And none of it is interesting. None. Not really. I mean, the Lex Express is kind of interesting because it was like an interesting marketing tool that they used for that summer. Did it work? Apparently not. His tights were cool. It was very patriotic. I love that motif. But when people are nostalgic for Lex Luger, I'm thinking like Randy. I think his back in the day, when we treasured ringtones on your cell phone, he had like unlimited messaging and I didn't, or something like that, or whatever. So I would create ringtones for him and I would text it to Randy. So he wanted me to make like a Lex Luger one, but the WWF Lex Luger theme song, which is the same one they used at the Hall of Fame, which is fine. It's all right. I don't love it, but Randy was nostalgic for it. I'm more nostalgic for his WCW theme.
Me too.
Can't remember the name.
Yeah.
I told you, I still love his 80s theme. That show's,
I gotta listen to it again. It just hits you in your feels. His late 90s WCW run. That theme song is iconic.
So maybe the 1990 the WWF theme hits hard for other people, for Luger fans, but there's not any matches like he had a good match. Like if you want some fun Luger matches, I mean you can't go any better than Luger and Hogan at the same place, the Palace of Auburn Hills Nitro in August when he won the title.
97, right?
Yep. I mean, one of my favorite saved things on Instagram is Lex Luger trying to torture rack Roadblock.
I remember that one.
I don't know if you've seen it. He tries 3 times, and Eric Bischoff is on commentary. He's like, trying to cover for him slipping, Roadblock slipping, because he's such a large, fat
bastard.
ass. So, but on the 3rd try, Luger gets him up. The crowd goes ape shit crazy for it, and it's awesome. So yeah, his WWF run is just nothing of interest for me. Like even let's talk about the action figure realm. When Mattel signs all the legends to deals so they can make figures of them. It's like who asked for a King Mabel figure? I don't know. But maybe you liked King Mabel in 1995 and 94. I don't know. But his first figure to come out was the Narcissist, Lex Luger, in the silver and the purple.
Ooh, that's what you need right there. You need that Mattel figure right
Christ
there.
almighty. I thought BDC was coming on. So the second figure that came out was that one. And it's like, that was better than the other one. That was better than the purple Narcissus one. And the next figure to come out was Luger as part of the WCW team at Bash to the Beach facing the NWO. And that figure, he's in a ponytail, which is interesting, which is okay. He also was wearing face paint, which is kind of not okay if you're trying to.
With a camouflage pants, right?
No camo pants.
No.
Not this figure. The rest of him is fine if you just pop his head off, but then his head mold is wrong. His head mold is from the Narcissist days. And only recently they've come out with better Lex Luger figures, and I'm scooping them all up, man. I'm like, this is the WCW Luger. It's like a Stone Cold Steve Austin figure. Well, in ring gear. How are you going to doll up the same black trunks, black boots, black knee brace action figure? Well, put them in a t-shirt. SCU, the other SCU, So how do you make Lex Luger marketable nowadays? And it's like, well, you can't. You just have people who are nostalgic for him. Maybe there's someone nostalgic for King Mabel. So good for you. You can have that figure, Even Savio Vega has a new action figure, not from Mattel, but it's an independently made one, and that looks cool. So I am just not a fan of his WWF run. I think it sucks. And if you want Lex Luger action, check out the early 90s WCW stuff, NWA stuff, or check out the late 90s WCW stuff. Guess what? Pro Wrestling Universe, WCW could do some things right, and the push of Lex Luger 96, 97 was one of them.
Totally agree with you on that one. Totally agree.
That
was the total package.
Boom. That's our Lex Luger show, guys. It was a good episode. Very good episode.
See, I told you, start with the crate.
But next week, BDC is going to be on the show. I want him on the show.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's going to be interesting. We are going to cover Super Showdown 2019.
What?
The WWE's going to Saudi Arabia, so we figure why not we cover our first Saudi Arabia show.
That's Saudi?
Really?
I believe it's Saudi, yeah.
I thought it was Australia.
That's what I thought.
Uh-oh. Check the notes.
Super Showdown 2019. Hold on, let me check. Hold on, player.
I think you're talking about.
Hold on one moment. Are the Iconics on it?
This is Jedi Saudi Arabia. Jeddah.
Return of the Jedi?
Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. I'm going to run through the card right quick for your WWE Championship match. Your opening match. We have Seth freaking Rollins taking on Baron Corbin.
Ooh.
Oh,
Jesus.
What the hell? Oh, Abel liked it. I didn't like it.
I like Baron, but they never used him the way he should have.
For the Intercontinental Championship, we have the Demon Finn Balor taking on Andrade.
Ooh.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah.
But, wow. What weird. Wow.
Where is Andrade again? Did they kick him out?
No, he's still on SmackDown.
I thought he
got him.
He about to be on AAA soon.
Probably.
All right. We have Shane McMahon taking on Roman Reigns.
Excuse me?
You heard what?
Is this for the Best in the World Cup?
I don't know, but I seen the card. We talk about this shit.
All right.
Yeah,
your boys.
Your reaction.
Oh man.
We have a handicap match we have Lars Sullivan taking on the Lucha House Party, a Grand Metalik,
no.
Kalisto, and Lince Dorado.
Oh my God. You'll never hear Lars Sullivan again after this.
No, you won't. Unless you watch NXT. That's the only time you're going to hear about
Unless
it.
you watch a
still.
certain tab on X.video.
That too. We have Randy Orton taking on Triple H.
Again?
Oh, okay. Last time ever. That's his last match. His last big match, I think.
Randall?
With Triple H?
I think so.
No, because remember he had the tag. He had a tag. Wait, what was that tag match with him and Sean?
21, I think, after COVID.
Yeah, this is 19 right here.
After COVID?
Yeah, he had one in COVID.
Oh, no, okay. No. I think his last match was like during the Thunderdome on Raw, but he was like in street clothes.
Oh, okay.
Or something like that. Anyway, whatever. Okay.
After this, we got Braun Strowman taking on Bobby Lashley.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And for your WWE Championship, we have Kofi Kingston defending his title against Dolph Ziggler.
God. Should have wrestled Mansoor.
You really?
And your next match, you got the 51-man Battle Royal.
Oh, my God.
What? 51 man. 1 man.
You know what that
21.
You know what happened that night, too, right? Titus Mania.
No, it's not.
Titus World Slide, I think.
Wouldn't that be at the... No, that had to be their first Saudi show, the Greatest Royal Rumble.
I think that was the greatest Royal Rumble.
This is the greatest Royal Rumble.
No, this is Super Showdown.
Either one.
No, because okay, the reason why I think I know that is because it was the very first Saudi show. Corey and Michael Cole, everyone was on their toes because it's the first Saudi show, and they're just being they're very scared. So the only thing that broke them out of their shell was Titus falling into the damn ring.
Yep, Vince kept replaying that shit. Yep,
that's the only thing that broke everybody. Is that they finally were loosened up.
I think I remember going into this pay-per-view, and that's the first thing I saw. And I said, "This can't be real." I'm glad he's okay, because normally they had the LED boards like right in the front, but ooh. Oh.
Well, I tell you what, I left work early. I took a half day just so I could watch the show live. Yep. This is the reason why I left for this main event match. We have The Undertaker taking on my man Goldberg.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
Oh, this is gonna be.
You already know all the bad shows are always good for us. So here we go. So Strap, do you want to cover the whole show or do you want to watch certain matches?
Michael, can you just take care of Dom right now? Oh.
I mean,
I'll tell you what, the longest match is Randy Orton and Triple H. That's the longest match,
of course, because Triple H is in it. I got
25 minutes. The second longest match is the Battle Royal match.
Like I don't. This is where the personal thoughts and opinions come out. It's like I have no interest in covering Randy Orton, Triple H, Undertaker, Goldberg. Like I have thoughts already. But something like Shane and Roman, what the fuck? And Seth and
Baron Corbin.
I don't remember that, so that might be interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, so I guess we have to do the whole show because it's odd to pick
show.
the hand pick. Yeah.
If you want to skip a match, skip Lars Sullivan.
Yeah, because you know it's going to be a squash.
It was only 5 minutes.
That's longer than it needed to be.
That's with entrance.
Well, it sounds like a very interesting show, Dom. So
I can't wait.
Can't wait to skip it. I mean, show up for it next week.
Huh? What did you say?
Nothing.
Huh? All right. Well, that is our show. Lex Luger, 1993 to 1995. Bobby Platino, shut us down.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. And please subscribe, like, and share our show with everybody that you may or may not know. I am Bobby Platino. To my left is Strap Facts John, or wherever it's going to show on the camera. And the host of the show, Dom. We will see you next week. This is Lex Luger's episode, and all I can say is,
We will see y'all next week.